say compassion usually. That feels the most appropriate word.
All right. Yes. Thanks. Yes. That's maybe
Compassion.
said clearly. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Shit.
Thanks.
Well, hi, Will.
Hi, Tim. Thanks very much again for your, not just for this session, but your little poems. Very impressive. Thank you. Your photographs.
Oh, thanks, Will.
Week. Very nice.
Just, yeah, I have to fill my empty days with something, and that's what seems to fill them mostly.
I just guess last week you talked about love and the mystery of whether I can't exactly remember what you talked about, but there is a possibility or mystery of the existence or somehow of a transcendence and the presence or absence of a God, love. I don't know if you have a sense of something lying beyond the known.
No, I have no sense of that whatsoever. No, there's nothing beyond. There can be nothing beyond. This is everything. There isn't. I would say there isn't even nothing beyond. This is nothing, too. So even nothing beyond is saying too much. There isn't anything outside of this. So what we're going to call it, I don't know. This annihilates any hope, any notion, any possibility of transcendence. There is only, if we're using the word transcendence, then there is only immanence. This is completely immanent. But it's not immanent with anything, it's immanently full of nothing. The emptiness is immanent. The fullness of everything is completely empty. The emptiness of everything is completely full. And there's nowhere to go. There's no transcending. And so there's rest. And so there's peace. For the weary traveler, for the disillusioned seeker, for the one who tried so hard to find her way back home, totally innocently, when home was all there was. Home is all there is. There isn't another place. So rest in peace. Rest in peace and disillusionment.
Is there a difference between a view and a realization? Because like non-duality, you can end up in a kind of cynicism, and it can be very cynical. And
Yeah.
But what you're saying is not a view; it's a realization, and I think there's a difference. If you take a view that there's nothing beyond, without it being a realization, it can end up in very terrible.
Well, yeah. I mean, this isn't. I mean, in voicing it, it can only sound like a point of view. That's how it will sound to virtually all human beings. If they hear me say these words, then they will consider that's my opinion, that's my belief, that's my view. But that isn't how it feels, no. But I'm very wary of saying realization because there's nothing that's been realized. there is, because there's only been loss. There hasn't, realization sounds like something new, something else has, something that was hidden has been revealed. And that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting there is nothing to be revealed. Now, realization doesn't sound the right word for that. There isn't a right word for it, though. So if we want to, we could say that. But this realization of nothing. So again, that's not what I was looking for. Because I was always looking for something else. And there isn't something else. There isn't anything else.
There can be the hope for something else. That's not something.
Yes. And so seemingly that's what died. The sense of I was the hope of better, for more, of becoming, of returning, of fruition, of completion. And there's no one to be completed. There's nothing apart from this to be completed. So it's really, the end of the seeking is the end of the seeker. They're not two, that's not two separate endings. And the ending of both is no ending at all. I do know what you mean. I mean, when self hears this, of course, all it hears is hopelessness. But the absence of hope is not hopelessness. The absence of hope is the absence of hope and hopelessness. With hope, with the death of hope, hopelessness dies with it. Two sides of the same dualistic coin. The coin is irrelevant. The coin just doesn't appear. So there is neither hope nor hopelessness.
Well, last week you used the word love, and I don't remember exactly what you said, but you sort of raised the possibility that somehow this was love, or what this is love, and you raised that as somehow as a transcendent state in a sense. And I don't remember what you said, but maybe you do.
Well, okay, I'll just clarify what to be honest, I'm not sure exactly what I mean by love. I could say there is no love, and love doesn't matter at all, because absolutely nothing matters, including love. But there is this very paradoxical sense that even though there is no love, and even love doesn't matter, absolutely nothing matters, and then it's only love that matters. Even though love is a very human idea. So I'm not talking about it as a state, as a transcendent state. No, not at all. Again, I just think love is the nature of human beings. But self is usually so afraid for itself that love is greatly feared and avoided, especially the unconditional love. So I make all kinds of conditions on love to suit myself. But I'm not talking about love as a condition or a state, no.
Yeah, non-duality is one of the, if I can call it a religion, it's the religion that seems to avoid the word love altogether. It's the only, if we could call it a religion, that makes no mention of love. If you look at Buddhism or Christianity, Sufism, any of those,
Yeah.
love is the central word. And suddenly in non-duality, you can give a whole talk and the word love, not only the word God doesn't appear, but also the word love also doesn't appear. It's quite striking, and it can seem
Yeah.
cynical, dry, terrible,
Mhm.
suicidal,
Yeah. It can.
destructive,
Yeah. It
cynical.
can. But I mean, I have no sense of that, and so I do talk about love. It's all love, and there is no love. Now, that's the biggest crock of shit you could ever say, the most nonsensical, paradoxical, contradictory statement you could ever make. And yet, that is how it feels. And by all of it as love, I mean every feeling, every thought, every appearance, even the most horrific, even the most self-centered, all of it. This is unconditionally loving, no matter how it appears. And that won't make sense. It's a bit like Brian Cox. Don't think I've made sense of that, because I haven't, and I'm pretty sure no one else has. And wonderfully, it doesn't matter that it makes no sense. It's the love that passes all understanding. It won't make sense.
Many people they have a bhakti practice, some kind of devotional practice,
Mm-hmm.
which is dualistic, say, and it even seems contradictory, but you see it wherever you look. You find the enlightened sages involved in these kind of dualistic bhakti practices. I don't know if you
Yeah.
had any
Mm-hmm.
on that.
No.
I mean, clearly they have
It's
realized something.
I mean, yeah, I mean that makes I mean I'm astounded by that, because what this does is this even the most the non-duality speakers that I really love and enjoy and love listening to and enjoy their company, I could not. This is the end of the possibility of worshipping. There's no one higher or lower. It's just there is no one. So you could say how much you love them, but you would never, like, this is the end of kneeling. This is the end of subservience. Subservience is for me just as being a king and being a sage and being a lord is for me. You know, there's no one to lord it over anyone else. This lays everything flat. No, so there are no special ones. There are no ones. We're all no ones. In the most wonderful equality. Doesn't mean you love everyone. You can detest other human beings, and that's love. I can't get much more radical than that.
Very much.
Thanks.
Joey has his hand up.
Hi, Joey. How are you?
Good. Hi, sir, again. How are you? Sorry I missed last week.
Very good.
Yeah, I guess something I had in there for a little bit while the hand was up was you mentioned empathy and compassion and the path, and hope and hopelessness both dissolving, right? And this kind of the dualistic kind of understanding that this kind of like a yes. And then so I was thinking of kind of this interesting perspective to share is when we give in to feeling, you know, in context of empathy and compassion, which is both not renunciant of feeling, right? With my hand very much appropriately on my heart, that it's interesting to think how that can aid us in our stopping on the path, in the sense of coming to terms with endings of things, I think is an interesting perspective to kind of have.
Well, there's no one to do any stopping. There's no, and we're not on a path, Joey. I know. Last time you came on, I can't emphasize enough that this meeting is for the poor wretches who have tried their fucking utmost to become whole, to become complete, to find their way home, to find unconditional love. And, they've had glimpses and they've had moments, and it's seemingly been a fucking long journey. And this is a place for people to come where I can say enough already. Fuck it. There's nowhere to get to. There's no one to get to anywhere. This is the end of the fucking road, and you'll look behind you and you will not see where you've been. There was no path to get here. And that is the peace that passes understanding. That is unconditional love. And this is not the place for guiding people anywhere at all. There is no guidance required.
Right. I mean, and in that way, I'm in agreement with you in the sense of, then it's like I said, like coming to
in what way are you in agreement with me, Joey?
With the stick. Yeah, I mean, in that sense that coming to terms with the endings, the idea of it, and that instead of it being this abrupt, almost scary horror movie idea that people can have, because it's in that way that if we allow ourselves to give into what is a deepness rather than a shallowness. And I think of the word feeling, and you have such a lovely way when you speak about feeling and empathy and compassion, sir. It is kind of like an invitation. And that's why I'm saying I'm kind of just tying this together with stopping. And that's kind of all I really wanted to open up about today with that.
No, I get, and most people think I am probably talking, and I get people say that to me, that I'm talking about stopping. I'm not talking about stopping. There's no one to stop or keep going. This this may feel like stopping to me, of course, because I'm the one who has told the constant story of keeping going. I don't know how I've kept going. I don't know how I've managed to keep going. I don't know how I've come through all this. And you haven't. There is no one to stop, because there's no one who's been kept going. It's all a self-referential story that seems like my life, and it feels like my life. And so that's why there can be terror, there can be great grief, but there's nothing to fear. There really is nothing to fear. Well, apart from snarling dogs and traffic, and I don't mean that kind of fear. I mean the fear of annihilation. There's no one to be annihilated. I know how terrifying it can feel, but there is no one inside. The one that you are afraid for, the one that fear says is so vulnerable, isn't. So there's no stopping or keeping going.
Yeah. Am I still? Oh, yeah. I mean, in that way, something that's lovely about this is I was going to mention him earlier. I'm sure people are familiar with Eckhart Tolle, and in that way that his coming to terms with stopping was dreadful. I don't know if you're familiar with his personal story.
No, I'm far too familiar with Eckhart, and I should warn you that he's banned. Any reference to him is banned in these meetings. because as if he needs any more fucking publicity. I'm joking. Yeah, I've got. Yeah, I am familiar with him. 6 months on a park bench. Yawn, yawn.
Right. Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
No, he's a lovely guy, but Eckhart is still. I mean, it's wonderful what he's done, but he's just trying to help people. I don't. When I first read The Power of Now, of course, I'd never read anything like it. It was really impactful. It was wonderful, actually. But I have no sense of what he's speaking about is anything like what I'm trying to convey. I really don't. Like everyone thinks, oh, ultimately there's only one ultimate truth, so everyone must be speaking about the same. No, I don't think so. You're not gonna produce a book which says practicing the power of now if you're talking about what I'm trying pathetically to talk about. There is no power in now. This is total poverty. This is complete powerlessness. There is no more or less power. Power is totally illusory. Completely and utterly. Can only be for me. There is no power. There is the illusion of power between selves. Power of one human being over another. There's no power in this. It's unconditional.
Yeah.
And power, you couldn't get anything more conditional than power to me. There we go.
That makes a lot of sense. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And what makes it easier to stop is the release, right, of the attachment, the adherence to the conditions,
Yeah.
of life,
Well,
in
yeah,
that way. Yeah.
but again, I'm not teaching you how you could release the conditions.
Mhm.
I'm not giving you any practices I'm saying they might be. And I think the way I speak about this comes from the seeming experience of the loss of those. I did not give up anything. I'm telling you, all I did was try to hold on for dear life to the death. I did not give up a fucking inch. I didn't surrender. I didn't accept. It was all against my will. Because of course my will was illusory. So of course this is against your will. You don't have a will. It's sure to feel like it's against it because you're not getting what you want. So I can't talk about surrender or acceptance. I mean, they can appear, but that's not what there's no teaching of that. There's no suggestion that that is better or worse. The unconditional love is that resistance is just as much love as acceptance. Now that is unconditional love. You just think how hard you've been on yourself about not being more accepting, not being more loving, not being more surrendered. Resistance is completely natural.
Yes, 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 yes. And that beautiful thing about acceptance, right? And all of that stuff is, as you do that, instead of it becoming a rose bush, like with the thorns that you're running by, that you're struggling against, right? In that way, then it starts to become something that you see,
I
with yourself
didn't.
and everything.
Yeah, but I was saying that there wasn't any acceptance. There's no acceptance required. Acceptance is only for me. And then I can tell my friends how much more accepting I've become, and I can tell myself how more accepting I've become, and look how far I've come on the path. I think I'm getting somewhere, and I just want to tell you, don't be so fucking stupid. You've never gone anywhere. And you never will get anywhere. That's the unconditional love, not promising you heaven, not promising nirvana, not promising bliss. This has no promise. This has no possibility. This is it. This is the whole shebang. There is nothing, there is no more. Couldn't give a shit whether you like it or not. We're talking about that kind of unconditional love. Thanks, Joey. Someone else, let me.
Razia.
Someone else.
Razia has a hand up.
Oh, Razzie wants to speak, does she? Oh, oh yeah, Razzie, you go first, then David.
Okay,
Hello.
just a little bit. I was reading the story about this man that took his daughter to Legoland. And when he took her to Legoland, he paid a lot of money to get her into it, you know? And then when she got in.
I know, I've taken Alfie.
Yeah, and then when she got in, and then she couldn't find any joy in whatever she saw there, until she found a little girl Lego. And now it completely made sense because she could put the girl Lego into a truck and the truck was moving around. It made sense. Now she became part of that story. I think somehow it relates to what we try to say sometimes, you know, and we miss the mark.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thanks, Razia. Nice to see you. David.
Hi.
Hi, Dave.
I have one, and that is, it's all life in love with life, and everything else is just ripples within that. Life in love with life. Regardless of what you consider, that's what it is. Life in love with life.
Oh, you beautiful old romantic, you, David. That's lovely.
Love you, love you.
And
And
of course,
everyone here as well.
Don't leave, David, don't leave the darkness out.
That's included.
Of course.
Of course. All
trouble-
the darkness is within
The problem, yeah.
within life. Life is light and darkness. Death is not separate. Nothing is separate from that.
No. I always find I have to give the darkness a plug, because you know the light gets generally in spirituality, the light gets all the good, you know, all the good stuff, doesn't it? And the darkness, like fucking dark side, dodgy. And this is liberation for the darkness. The darkness and the light are not two. There's nothing in the dark to fear. Talking as a boy who was terrified of the dark. And it was full of monsters. No, it's empty. There's nothing to fear from the dark. There's nothing to fear from nothing. And self is generally terrified of nothingness. Well, thanks for coming, everyone. Cheers, Darren.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks for helping. Nice to see you all. if you would like to be on the email list and you're not, if you just email me at clisstim@gmail.com, then I'll add you to keep you updated with all the meetings. And if you'd like to have a one-to-one conversation about this, then you can book that on my website, timclissthis.com. You'd be more than welcome to do that. Thanks ever so much for coming.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Tim.
Thank
It's
you.
great. Oh, how wonderful.
It's lovely.
Thanks, team.
Thanks. Cheers.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.